Peace to everyone. Welcome to Winning Wednesdays for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. My name's Errol C. Mangle, and I am HR's least favorite hire. Today, I've got several articles I wanted to discuss. A lot going on in the financial markets. Very interesting time, so we'll get into that shortly. As you guys come in, let us know where you're from. Let us know what planet, what hemisphere, what country, what county, what city, what hood you guys represent. Let me see what we got going on. Let me see what we got going on. Right now, I'm looking at the stock market, American stock market. What I see is a lot of green. I like green. I'm sure you like green as well. I see S&P just slightly up. Total market just slightly up. I see the NASDAQ just slightly up. I see the Russell just slightly up. I see Apple at 253. I see AMD at 217. Amazon 210. Broadcom 320. I see Bitcoin at 70,800. What else do I see? Microsoft at 370. Meta at 599. Okay, maybe we take a look. Maybe we take a look at Meta. I've got an article I wanted to share regarding Meta. So we'll talk about Meta shortly. I see NVIDIA at 179. I see Palantir at 155. Tesla at 389. And I see TSM at 347. So that's where we currently are. All right. Let's see. Shout out my guy Howard. Austin, Texas in the building. Great state of Texas. Great state of Texas on the call today. Welcome, Howard. All right. Okay, so we're going to give it a minute before we really get into it. What else do I got for you today? I want to talk about gold. I want to talk about tax season. I want to talk about Amazon Web Services. I want to talk about oil prices. Maybe we start off with some headlines. Maybe we start off with some headlines. All right, let's take a look what we got going on here. Let's take a look at current headlines. All right, here's Yahoo Finance. As of 12:02 p.m. Eastern. Let's see what's going on. Here. U.S. stocks jump amid hopes for Iran peace talks. Okay, let's see what's going on here with Trump and Iran. Stock market today, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ rise amid hopes of U.S.-Iran talks. Oil falls below $100. All right, let's see what we got here. U.S. stocks climbed on Wednesday as investors weighed reports that the U.S. has approached Iran with a plan to halt fighting, raising cautious hopes for an easing in a war that has roiled the markets. Okay, it talks about these indexes being up. Oil prices retreated more than 3%, continue a wild ride as markets track developments related to Iran. West Texas Intermediate crude fell to around 88, while Brent crude traded below 96. Iran received a 15-point plan aimed at bringing the Middle East conflict to a close, citing officials from intermediary Pakistan. The proposal is seen as a sign of growing urgency in the Trump administration to halt escalating attacks given the likely severe hit to economies. So let's pause right there. I mean, if you're American leadership, you had to have some foresight to know this is one possible outcome. If you meet with me regarding options, I discuss possible outcomes. So if I'm America or one of these other leading, one of the leadership of one of these countries involved, I gotta be cognizant of all possible outcomes. I have to know ahead of time that this is a possible outcome. Severe hit to economies. I have to know that ahead of time. Okay, I have to do my due diligence and ask myself, what's a possibility? Okay. Severe hit to my economy has to be a possibility. I have to know that ahead of time. While President Trump has said that the U.S. is engaged in ongoing negotiations with Iran, Tehran has pushed back on claims of direct talks muddying the picture of this situation. So my takeaway from that paragraph is somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. While Iran continued to launch strikes on Wednesday, the proposal news tentatively nudged up appetite for risk and market bets on an interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve this year. Maybe we look up when the next Federal Reserve meeting is. Next meeting. Maybe we look up that. Okay, so AMD, Intel stocks jump on report of price hikes. AMD and Intel gained on Wednesday after Nikkei Asia reported that the two chip makers told clients they would increase prices for central processing units starting in March and April, respectively. Okay, so you can continue to read this article, but here's one of the main headlines on Yahoo Finance. Let's go back. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go back to Yahoo Finance. Okay, so that's the leading headline. What else do we have? What else? Okay, this is an article I wanted to discuss right here as well. SpaceX aims to file IPO as soon as this week. Bitcoin nudges higher as analysts say token looks bottomed. Okay, what else do we have here? What else do we have? Morgan Stanley expects S&P profit boom despite Iran war. Let's check this one. Let's see if we can read this one. All right, let's see here. Bloomberg, as war in the Middle East roiled the markets this month, some investors are finding solace in corporate America's growth machine, which not only remains intact, but is showing signs of thriving. Sell-side strategies have been boosting their profit outlooks, defying concern over soaring oil prices and a potential hit to consumer demand. Earnings in the S&P index are expected to rise 20% in the next 12 months. Historically, the reading was higher only when the economy emerged out of recessions. This supports our stance that the probability remains low for this oil spike to end the business cycle. Optimism over corporate file earnings. The cornerstone of U.S. equities bull market run for most of the past decade partly explains the S&P's resilience. The view is giving bulls reason to remain constructive on U.S. stocks despite growing political risks, AI disruption, and private credit stress. The profit outlook for the S&P companies have been improving even as share prices have fallen. A dynamic rarely seen during the episodes of geopolitical uncertainty. This setup, okay, here's the key sentence. The setup has historically rewarded investors willing to look through near-term pain. The setup has historically rewarded investors willing to look through near-term pain. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not even going to read no more. This setup has historically rewarded investors willing to look through near-term pain. Full stop. End of story. Next article. Let's check out what else they got. Let's check that Bitcoin article. Okay, Bitcoin nudges higher as analysts say token looks bottomed. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. All right, let's see. Okay, Bitcoin hovers around 71 as Bernstein analysts say token looks bottomed. Bitcoin hovered around 71 on Wednesday after Bernstein analysts noted that the token may finally have reached a low point more than 5 months after tumbling from its all-time highs. The firm reaffirmed its 150 price target for the end of 2026. Okay, all right. So let's say it does hit 150 by year end. It's currently, what is it currently? It is currently 70,948. Currently 70,948. So if this prediction is right, if it goes from 70,000 to 150,000, that's a crazy return. Okay, so hopefully BTC does hit 150 by year end. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. The token, which has outperformed gold and equities during the Middle East conflict, was trading below 70 on Tuesday, Overall, Bitcoin has been trading in a range between 65 and 75 over the past 3 weeks. We believe that Bitcoin has found its trough and is now heading higher. Bitcoin ETFs outflows seen at the start of the year have reversed, with ETFs today holding roughly 6.1% of total supply. Additionally, digital asset treasury giant Strategy, MSTR, has acted as a strong buyer. Strategy currently holds roughly 3.6% of all supply, making the stock an attractive buy. He added that we believe MSTR offers a high beta exposure to Bitcoin, upside with the backstop of a resilient, liquid, and pressure-tested balance sheet. And their company has a buy rating on Strategy with a 450 price target. Okay, so we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. I hold some Bitcoin. Interested to see what happens. Okay, so I have a direct stake. I have a direct interest in Bitcoin. All right, let's see what else we got here on Yahoo Finance. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's check CNBC. Another one of my favorite financial resources, CNBC. All right. Okay, so Iran rejects U.S. ceasefire. We'll see what happens there. Meta cutting several hundred jobs across Reality Labs, Facebook, and other departments. Dow jumps 300 points as oil falls as U.S. reportedly sends Iran a peace plan. Mortgage demand drops more than 10% as rates hit the highest level since October. Okay, mortgage, those of you looking for a mortgage. ARM jumps 20% as company expects revenue windfall from new chip, a significant shift. What else we have here? All right, let's see what's going on here with Meta. Meta cutting several hundred jobs across Reality Labs, Facebook, and other departments. Meta is laying off several hundred employees on Wednesday. That's today. The cuts are happening across several different organizations within the company, including Facebook, Global Ops, Recruiting, Sales, and its virtual reality division, Reality Labs. Some impacted employees are being offered new roles within the company. In some cases, those positions will require relocation. Okay, come to Florida. Zuckerberg just relocated to Florida. Come to Florida. Florida is open for business. Teams across Meta regularly restructured or implement changes to ensure they're in the best position to achieve their goals. Where possible, we are finding other opportunities for employees whose positions may be impacted. The layoffs come as Meta has been refocusing its effort and pouring billions of dollars into AI, where the social media giant has been racing to catch up to rivals like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. In January, Meta cut employees focused within its Reality Labs division and shut down a number of studios. January's layoff hit more than 1,000 jobs. It will impact about 10% of the hardware division. Meta shares rose nearly 3% earlier in March. Meanwhile, Meta has continued to bulk up on talent, specializing in generative AI and related AI agents. Okay, let's check this sentence right here. CPO Christopher Cox and Operating Chief Javier Olivan will be recipients of new stock option incentive program. The program is intended as a retaining tool for Meta's top leaders while it continues heavily investing into AI. So that kind of makes me think of my business school days. I remember learning that one of the ways to align your employees and ownerships and leadership's best interest is to offer them ownership in the company. So it looks like Meta is offering a stock option incentive program to make sure everyone's best interest aligns. Think about it. If you're an employee of Meta versus if you're in Zuckerberg or one of his leadership team members, Why would I go as hard for the company as you do, unless both of us own a piece of this company? If this is your company and this is not my company, why would I be going as hard for the company as you go? Right? So one way to align everyone's interest is to give everyone some kind of equity stake in the company. Therefore, the better the company does, the better my net worth does. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is a big bet. Meta spokesperson said these pay packages will not realize unless Meta achieves massive future success, benefiting all of our shareholders. As with all stock options, there is only value if the share price meaningfully exceeds the exercise price. In this case, it must be on exceedingly aggressive 5-year timeline. Okay, we'll see what happens with Meta. All right. Speaking of Meta, I think I've got another article regarding Meta here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I don't have it up right now. We'll see if we can find it. I believe Meta was facing some kind of lawsuit. Maybe we can look that up shortly. Maybe we can look that up. All right, so there's a couple of headlines from CNBC and Yahoo Finance right there. Let's see who we got. Okay, Howard, my guy Howard. My guy Abel, Chi-Town in the building. Shout out to my guy Abel. Garnell from Maryland. Shout out to my guy Garnell. Abel from the Shy. Garnell says, yeah, Trump is lying. So, okay, somebody's lying from that article. Okay, somebody's lying. All right. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, actually, before we get into anything else, let's take a look at current market. Let's go to FinViz. I like FinViz. Let's check out their heat map. Here's their heat map. All right, so here's where we stand. Okay, what do we have? Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Google, Meta, Nvidia, Broadcom, all up. Palantir up. Walmart up. Coca-Cola, Costco, GE, Lilly, Johnson & Johnson. Okay, all up. JP Morgan up. Bank of America up. Yeah, that's where we stand on the 1 day. Let's check the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100. Okay, a lot of the tech companies, Nvidia, Apple, Meta, Google, okay, Tesla, Walmart, Costco. That's the NASDAQ, the 1 day performance. Let's check the S&P 1 day performance. Okay, very similar to what we're just looking at. Dow Jones 30. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Walmart, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan. Let's check the Russell. Okay, a whole bunch of companies here. Okay, mostly green there, Technology, mostly green. Consumer cyclical, healthcare. Okay, healthcare just about all green. Industrials, electrical equipment. Utilities, basic materials, energy, real estate, consumer defense, communications, financial. Okay, mostly green for the Russell. Okay, let's check it by all stocks, entire market. Okay, mostly green. Let's check it by market cap. Okay, here are the biggest companies by market cap: Nvidia, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Broadcom, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Amazon, TSM, Lilly, JP Morgan, ExxonMobil, Oracle, Costco, Palantir, Home Depot, so forth. AMD, Coca-Cola, Baba. Okay, so that's where we stand. Maybe we check the world. Let's check the world. Okay, TSM out there in Southeast Asia. Cayman Islands. What company is NU? Let's check what company NU is. Let's see if I can pull this up here. NU is NU Holdings. Okay, NU Holdings. Not sure what they do. Okay, North America, Central America, South America, Europe. Okay, this is all Europe right here. What else do we have? Asia, TSM by far is the biggest company. You got Baba in there. India, what do you have? HDFC Bank in India. South Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong. TM is what? Toyota. MUFG is what? Mitsubishi. Okay, so this is Australia. BH Group Limited in Australia. South Africa, we have Goldfields Limited, GFI. Okay, there's a look at the one-day performance today all over the world. Okay, one-day performance. Israel, what do we have? Israel. Elbit Systems and Teva Pharmaceutical. Okay. All right, so there's where we stand as of Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. ARM, you got ARM right there, up 19%. ARM Holdings in the UK. Okay, well, okay. So that's where we stand. What do you guys think about that? Guys like that heat map? Guys like that heat map? I like that heat map. Okay, so that's the heat map. That's where we stand. Back in North America in the S&P, this is where we stand. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, so let's see what else we got. What else I got for you? All right, so it is tax season right now. It is tax season. Today is the 25th, so we got maybe just over 3 weeks until the middle of April. So I got an article regarding 3 ways your relationship status could impact your taxes. Let's take a look. This is from Yahoo Finance. Let's see what it says. 3 ways your relationship status could impact your tax bill. So let's check this out. Taxes aren't exactly romantic, but your relationship status can have a big effect on your taxes. Whether you just got married, recently combined finances, or navigating a more complex partnership, the IRS uses your status as of 12/31 to determine how to file for the entire year. This means one life change can ripple through your withholding, credits, and overall tax bill, sometimes in ways couples don't see coming, for better or worse. Let's see what this is going on here. Okay, if you just got married, take care of these things first. Let's see. Considered married for the entire tax year, we'll need to choose a filing status, either married filing jointly or married filing separately. If you recently got married and you're filing together for the first time, there are a few things to put on your radar. Report a name and address change, if applicable. Let's see what else. Update your tax withholding. Review your withholdings as a married couple is critical so you don't get slammed with a surprise tax bill after you get married. Okay, so if both partners are working, selecting married filing jointly can end up withholding half of what you needed to. Okay, it often makes sense to keep the tax withholding the same unless there's a meaningful income change at the time of the marriage, like someone deciding not to work. Okay, so it goes through advantages of tax advantages of being married, higher deductions, better access to credits and phase outs. Okay, let's see here. So for single filers, the phase out is between that and that. Okay. Easier long-term tax planning, another benefit. Okay, tax implications of spousal IRAs. Scenarios where you should file separately. Okay, so it talks about one spouse owing back taxes, child support. One spouse has certain debts. One spouse qualifies for reduced student loan payments. One spouse doesn't trust the other's reporting toward tax behavior. All right, let's see what else. Filing jointly or separately, which one is best for you? Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. It says you have to run the numbers and figure out what best works for you. Cleanest way to do is to prepare the return both ways in tax software and have a tax professional compare. Don't just look at the refund figure in isolation. Okay, let's see here. Taxes and relationships FAQ. Should you file separately if you're getting a divorce? Can you still file single if you got married? Okay, so I was checking out this article on Yahoo Finance yesterday. So those of you that recently got married or have certain relationship situations, maybe you want to check out this article from Yahoo Finance. And this was yesterday morning. Okay, yesterday morning. Take a look at that if that applies to you. All right, so interesting article there from Yahoo Finance. All right, okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, another article here from Yahoo Finance I wanted to share regarding gold. Let's see what's going on with gold. Let's see what's going on with gold. Okay, gold snaps 9-day losing streak. 9-day losing streak. Okay, let's see what's going on here. On hopes of war de-escalation, Bloomberg, gold advanced, snapping 9 straight sessions of daily declines. Okay, let's see here. Earlier Tuesday, gold swung between gains and losses as traders weighed a range of possible outcomes. Okay, possible outcomes. Okay, if you're in business, you got to consider all possible outcomes. If you're in real estate, you got to consider all possible outcomes. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to consider all possible outcomes. If you're in the options market, you got to consider all possible outcomes. All right. Elevated energy prices resulting from the Iran war have raised the risk of inflation, leading investors to bet on higher interest rates. Declines in global stocks and bonds have also forced investors to ditch their positions in gold to raise cash, further amplifying the losses. Okay. More critically, gold price moves are being exacerbated by deleveraging among retail investors alongside selling from emerging market players, including central banks that are liquidating bullion to shore up foreign exchange reserves amid elevated oil prices. Okay, spot gold rose 1.3% to 44.6495 an ounce as of 4:49 p.m. New York. All right. So gold as of yesterday. Yes, this article is from yesterday afternoon. Okay, gold. All right, we'll keep an eye on gold. All right, I saw an article regarding SpaceX I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can pull it up. If I can pull it up, we'll talk about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, but before we get into that, let's take a trip to YouTube. Let's see what's up in YouTube. Let's see what's going on YouTube. All right, here's Yahoo Finance's shorts page. A couple interesting shorts I saw here. Amazon is acquiring Fauna Robotics. Let's see what's going on here. Fauna is developing a $50,000 robot called Sprout. Okay, if you drop $50,000 on a robot, what would you make it do? Okay, if I drop $50,000 on a robot, you got to be doing the dishes, cut the grass, wash the car, do the laundry, take out the trash. What else? You got to clean the house. What else? I'm not dropping $50,000 just so I can work more. If I drop $50,000, I'm sending his ass to work. Okay, Fauna, Sprout, get your ass to work. Okay, no free labor. Not on my end. Okay, I drop $50,000. I'm sending your ass to work. Go wash the car. Sprout can help with chores. He better be able to help with chores. Give high fives. Okay, I'm not dropping $50,000 for this thing to give me high fives. Shake hands, wave, or crawl. Nah, I can save $50,000 and do those things myself if I wanted to. I need his ass to do chores. Okay, I need his ass to go pick up the mail, go pick up the dry cleaning. Things like that. I don't care about no high fives. That's just me personally. All right, Amazon. Okay, Amazon got some more robots. Let's see what else we got here. Anything else? Let's see what here. Here's check out.
Tesla is teaming up with SpaceX on a massive chip complex in Texas. Elon Musk said the complex will have 2 factories at the site. The first will aim to make chips that Tesla will use for its vehicles and in its humanoid robots. And the second will aim to make chips designed for AI satellites and space data centers. Musk says specialized chips are needed to take account for the harsher environment in space, and SpaceX is said to be gearing up for a blockbuster IPO later this year. That's after it merged with Musk's xAI back in February. Tesla is teaming up with.
Okay, so SpaceX going public in the near future. I want to talk about that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right. A recession is not Dr. Doom's baseline. I saw this as well. United. United is turning their 3-seat aisles into, okay, so basically a bed. United Airlines reveals a new row that turns 3 seats into a flat space. Relaxed row. Relaxed row is expected to launch in 2027. It will roll out across more than 200 Boeing 787s and 777 aircraft by 2030. It's a good reminder to business owners to not target everyone. Okay, everyone can't be in your target market. So it looks like United Airlines, with this new rollout, is not targeting everyone. Right? They're only targeting a certain segment of the market. Okay, so it seems like they're only targeting high. I'm sure this is not free. Okay, if you take up 3 seats, I'm sure you got to pay a premium for that. So this is just a reminder to not target everyone. United Airlines doesn't seem to be targeting everyone. They're targeting a certain specific segment of the population. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's take a trip to I like Forbes. Let's see what's going on with Forbes. Forbes breaking news. Let's check out their shorts. Let's see if they got any interesting shorts here. Okay. All right. Nothing too interesting here, in my opinion. Let's check out CNBC. CNBC shorts. Hopefully they got something interesting here. AI is pushing more women into blue-collar jobs. That's an interesting one there. Inside the booming business of wellness. Let's take a look at that one.
The wellness industry is booming, and it's expected to reach a $10 trillion valuation over the next few years. Luxury gym memberships are all the rage right now. High-end fitness chain Equinox currently boasts a waiting list of more than 1,000 people for its ultra-premium $40,000 a year membership. But the success of Equinox and its peers like Lifetime Fitness are rooted in a growing desire for what's called a third place. The term third space was first coined by sociologist Ray Oldenburg about 40 years ago. Factors like heightened social media use and, of course, the pandemic created a loneliness epidemic. So over the past few years, as life returned to normal and we reassess our screen time, there's been a more deliberate focus on finding community. Spas and saunas have, of course, long been popular, but they're finding new relevancy as community hubs. Bathhouse and Othership are 2 companies that have entered the space. Othership hosts dance parties, comedy, and live music inside of its saunas. Othership declined to share any details on its financials, but Bathhouse told CNBC exclusively that by the end of 2026, it expects to reach around $120 million in revenue.
Community is kind of this thing that happens. It's kind of a beautiful side effect of the experience of going to Bathhouse.
One major drawback of these wellness clubs, the price tag that comes along with them. Many will run consumers hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per year. However, Lifetime Fitness, which is publicly traded, began doubling down on premium wellness a few years ago. And initially, investors were unhappy seeing it spend so much money on the initiative. But now it's paying off. Its stock price has more than doubled since October 2023. And although these types of clubs can be cost prohibitive for many, the past few years have shown us that those who can afford it are often willing to spend.
There's another reminder for business owners to not target everyone. Bathhouse seems to be targeting only a certain slice of the population, not everyone. Okay, not everyone. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's check how AI is pushing more women to blue-collar jobs.
Corporate America has seen historic rounds of layoffs recently in what some experts warn could be the beginning of an AI-driven white-collar recession. But jobs in the skilled trades are seen as AI-proof.
A robot's never going to be able to do what we do. Trade jobs are never going to be technology-based. They're going to be human-based.
At the same time, blue-collar industries are facing a shortage of skilled tradespeople as workers age out of the field. For women especially, that creates opportunities for employment growth and rising salaries. The number of women working as electricians in the U.S. has increased over the past 2 decades. And the number of women working as carpenters has increased by 17% over the same period. But it's still a small percentage of workers. In 2025, women represented just 3.5% of electricians and 3.1% of both carpenters and plumbers in the U.S. Experts say that women who pursue this path are positioning themselves for job stability and economic security.
Job stability? No such thing.
Average starting wages for skilled trade workers grew over
Job stability is like the light cigarette. No such thing.
25% between 2019 and 2024, in some cases outpacing inflation. Corporate America.
All right. So, all right, we'll keep an eye on AI and women in blue-collar jobs. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's see here. All right, so that's a couple of shorts from YouTube right there. What else I got on my list? What else I got for you? I got some earnings for you. Okay, I got some earnings for you. Let's see what earnings we got this week. Let's see what earnings we got this week. Let's see here. All right, here's earnings this week. Let's take a look. Okay, what do we have here? Earlier this week, no major names, Monday and yesterday. Today, no major names in my opinion. Chewy, okay, I recognize Chewy. Beyond Meat. Tomorrow, no major names again. Tomorrow. Lucid's, okay, I recognize Lucid. Friday, Carnival, I recognize Carnival. That's okay, so nothing crazy this week. No major names reporting earnings this week. Nothing major in terms of earnings this week. Okay, do you guys own any of these companies? Are you guys part owners in any of these companies? Braze yesterday after close. BioCardia yesterday. FGI. Okay, I don't know most of these companies. Pony tomorrow morning. Pony.ai looks like. Super League, I don't even know what that is. Friday afternoon or Friday morning. I don't even know what that is. Okay. All right. So that's earnings. That's what we have in terms of earnings. All right. Let me pull up the AI. Let me stick right there in X. Let me go to the FOMC. I want to ask the AI. Let me share my screen here. Maybe we can ask together. Let's ask together. I wanted to know when the next FOMC meeting is. Let's see here. Okay, here's Grok AI. When is the next FOMC meeting? Okay, 2026. Okay, so April 28th, 29th. Okay, end of April. Okay, so we still got a month to go. All right, so for all you investors, mark April 28th and 29th on your calendar. Okay, at the end of April. Okay. End of April. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got. All right. I mentioned not OpenAI. I mentioned SpaceX. So I wanted to share my LinkedIn here and talk about this article right here that I saw. Let me see here. All right, here we go. Let me stop sharing that one. Here is my share screen from LinkedIn. Okay, here's my LinkedIn. Okay, so the top story, SpaceX may move on record IPO as soon as this week. Okay, let's check out this article. SpaceX may move on record IPO as soon as this week. Elon Musk aerospace firm SpaceX could move forward with a filing for its initial public offering as soon as this week, the information reports. Citing an anonymous source, the company may try to raise more than $75 billion. How many zeros is that? How many zeros is that? Far more than the $50 billion that it had previously reported. The initial estimate would put SpaceX valuation around 1.75 trillion. 1.75. If SpaceX went public and their valuation was 1.75 trillion, where would they fall in the most valuable companies in the world? Maybe we can look it up. Either way, the IPO is set to be historic, obliterating the 29.4 billion set by Saudi Aramco in 19. Wow. Okay, so let's see here. If it went public at 1.75 trillion. Okay, let's go back to the AI. Let's go back to the AI. Let me pull up the AI. Let me share the AI. Okay, let me share my Grok. Let's ask Grok the most valuable companies on Earth. Okay. Give me a list of the most valuable publicly traded companies in the world. Okay, let's see what their valuation is. And okay, 4.3 for NVIDIA, 3.7 for Apple, 3.5 for Alphabet, 2.76 for Microsoft, 2.28 for Amazon. Where does 1.75 fall? Okay, so if SpaceX goes public and they have a 1.75 trillion valuation, that would make it the seventh largest company in the world. Okay, if they went public at 1.75 trillion, that makes them the seventh most valuable company in the world. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on what valuation SpaceX has when they go public. Okay, at 1.75, they're the seventh most valuable company in the world. All right, let's go back. Share screen, LinkedIn. Okay, let's see what else says. Okay, let's see. All right, we'll keep an eye on them. We'll keep an eye on SpaceX, okay? All right, let's see what else articles we have on LinkedIn here. Okay, LaGuardia incident revives air traffic control shortage. Meta laying off hundreds. We talked about that. OpenAI pulls the plug on Sora video app, Disney deal. And then maybe we check out this one. NASDAQ deal brings crypto closer to traditional finance. Let's see what's going on here. NASDAQ is teaming up with the fintech Talos as the race to embed cryptocurrency infrastructure with traditional finance heats up. Under the terms of the deal, Talos clients gain access to NASDAQ's Calypso platform. The news comes as traditional stock exchanges seek ways to extend trading hours. Separately on Tuesday, NASDAQ's top competitor, the NYSE, announced a partnership with the Miami-based startup. Okay, you know Florida's open for business, man. Florida is open for business. Exchange announced a partnership with Miami-based startup Securitize to develop a tokenized securities trading platform. All right, so NASDAQ and crypto. Okay, NASDAQ and cryptocurrency. Let's check this one. OpenAI pulls the plug on Sora video app. Disney deal. OpenAI has decided to nix its standalone video app Sora as it narrows its focus to enterprise customers and barrels towards a potential market debut. We're saying goodbye to Sora. At one time, Sora was a top charting app, exceeding over 1 million download days after its September launch. The shift also ends a proposed 3-year licensing agreement with Disney. Earlier this year, the entertainment giant agreed to invest $1 billion in the AI leader and grant it limited access to its valuable intellectual property. Okay, I know Sora has been a very popular app recently. Okay, so it was a surprising move here, in my opinion. Okay, so Sora, OpenAI, and Disney. OpenAI pulls the plug on Sora video app, Disney deal. Mortgage applications fall off a cliff. Let's see what's going on here. Mortgage demand tumbled more than 10% last week as rates hit a 5-month high. Average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed jumped to 6.43%, driving down purchase mortgage applications 5% in the biggest decrease since January. Applications to refinance dropped 15%, though they remained 50% higher than a year earlier. Refinancing bids made up less than half the total mortgage activity for the week, down from about 60% in January. Okay, anyone trying to get a loan right now? Anyone trying to get a loan? Anyone trying to get a mortgage right now? Okay. Keep an eye on mortgage rates. We'll keep an eye on mortgage rates. All right, let's check if LinkedIn has any more good headlines here. Surging demand could send oil prices soaring higher. Let's check this one. The Iran war's shock to global oil prices is rippling beyond benchmarks like Brent crude. Asian demand for diesel and jet fuel is pushing up alternatives to the Strait of Hormuz. Emirati oil has reached 160. Brent Wednesday's levels of roughly 95. Asian traders are similarly bidding up the price of oil from Norway, Russia, and Colombia. Meanwhile, Iran has rejected a ceasefire proposal. Okay, let me see if I have another article regarding the oil. Okay, let me share this headline here. Let me share this headline from CNN Business. Let's see what's going on with CNN Business. Let me share that headline. A related headline. All right, a new explosion in Texas. This time could be sending your gas prices higher than high. An explosion and fire at a major refinery in Texas is sending the gas and diesel futures sharply higher on Tuesday. Okay, an explosion at a Valero facility in Port Arthur occurred Monday, was still burning Tuesday morning. Wholesale gas prices were up about 10 cents a gallon. Okay, the fire occurred in part of the plant that makes diesel fuel. All right, so we'll keep an eye on gas prices. I know gas prices shot up here a lot the last 2 weeks in Florida. Oil prices up on Iran war concerns. Okay, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on these gas prices. All right, let's check CNN Business right quick. CNN Business. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, here we go. Okay. A deal with Iran wouldn't lower your gas prices anytime soon. Check if there's any interesting headlines. Want to protect yourself from AI? Invest, says BlackRock's Larry Fink. What a $4 gallon gas means for you and the economy. Fuel versus food. These Americans are cutting back to afford higher gas prices. Okay, that's a very, that's like being between a tough situation and a hard, either way you suck. Okay, I don't know the English. Either way you slice it, it's a tough situation to be in. Let's see what else we have. Fertilizer prices bring more pain for American farmers amid war in Iran. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can check out those articles on your own. Okay, CNN Business. I did see an Amazon. Okay, so we just kind of touched on the war in Iran. I saw this article from Reuters on Yahoo Finance. Amazon says AWS Bahrain region disrupted following drone activity. All right, so let's see what's going on with Amazon. Let's see what's going on in the Middle East with Amazon. Exclusive. Amazon says AWS. Let me see if I can share this. Okay, there we go. Exclusive. Amazon says AWS is a Bahrain region disrupted following drone activity. Okay, that doesn't seem like, that's not a good thing. Amazon said on Monday its Amazon Web Service region in Bahrain has been disrupted amid current conflict. The disruption is due to drone activity in the area. Amazon said is helping to mitigate customers to alternative AWS regions while it recovers, though it did not provide additional details, such as the extent of damage or how long. As the situation evolves, and we have advised before, we request those with workloads in the affected regions continue to migrate to other locations. AWS is Amazon's cloud computing unit and critical for operation of many well-known websites and government operations. It is also the company's main driver for profits. Okay, back on March 2nd, Amazon Cloud disrupted over objects hit UAE data center. Okay. All right. We'll keep an eye on Amazon and the Middle East conflict. Okay. Keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. All right. All right. Drop any comments or questions you have in the chat. Drop any comments or questions in the chat. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's see. Let's check some comments. Let's check some comments here. EM is building like his own. Elon Musk is building like his own city east of the Austin airport. Factors in apartments. Yep. Elon is building his own city east of Austin, airports, factories, apartments. Okay. I've got a mortgage. I've got a mortgage via loan 4.875 this month. Okay. 4.875, 4 7/8. Okay, Howard. Got a mortgage VA loan, 4 7/8 this month. Okay. And what did that article say? 30-year fixed is was it 6.43? 6.43. Those of you that are looking for mortgages either today or someday in the future, here's probably the best resource for finding out what mortgage rates are. Mortgage News Daily. Mortgage News Daily. Check out Mortgage News Daily. Maybe we could take a trip maybe we take a trip right now. Yeah, maybe we take a trip right now. Let me pull it up. Mortgage News Daily. There, here we go. It'll give you the rates of all the different loan products, 30 years, VA, so forth, FHA, all that. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen here. Mortgage News Daily. Mortgage News Daily. Here it is right here. Okay, those of you looking for mortgages, home loans, okay, mortgage rates, okay, check that out. MortgageNewsDaily.com in the upper left, MortgageNewsDaily.com. Okay, if you scroll down, there it is. Okay, 30-year fixed, about 6.5. 15-year fixed, just over 6. 30-year jumbo, 6.63. 30-year FHA, just under 6. 30-year VA, 6. Okay. One of the best resources for current mortgage rates. Mortgage News Daily. Mortgage News Daily. Okay, Mortgage News Daily. 30-year FHA, just under 6, 5.98. 5.98. We just talked about this one. CNBC. Mortgage demand drops more than 10% as rates hits highest level since October. Home flippers see smallest profits since Great Recession, real estate data firm says. All right. Mortgage News Daily. Mortgage News Daily. All right. So check out that website if you're looking for a home loan. Okay. All right. All right. Let me review my notes. Let me see what else I got for you. All right. Let's take another live look before we wrap. Let's take another live look at the market before we wrap. Okay, here's my trading view. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, mostly green in the market. I like green. Okay, let me scroll up just a little bit. Okay, what did I say I wanted to take a look at? Was it Tesla? Okay, here's Tesla's chart. Tesla's chart in the last 6 months, going back to October. Okay, what else did I say I want to look? Okay, ExxonMobil. Okay, ExxonMobil. I read an article on ExxonMobil. Okay, there's ExxonMobil's a 6-month chart. Okay, ExxonMobil is going hard in South America right now. ExxonMobil is going hard in South America right now. Venezuela, Guyana, and elsewhere. Okay, 163. Okay, I remember when ExxonMobil would trade between 100 and 120 last year, 2 years ago. Now it's 163.68. Okay, Meta pulled back a little bit. Under 600. Okay, in my opinion, that's a great buy. Under 600 Meta. Okay, last 6 months. Okay, it's been pretty range bound the last 6 months between, say, 670 and say between like 580 and 680. $100 range the last 6 months. Okay, Microsoft, another good one. Okay, another good price, in my opinion, at 371. Okay, 6 months ago was in the fives, I think. Yes, let me see here. 2 earnings ago, when is this? October, Monday. Okay, end of October, it's in the 550 range, 548, 550 something. Now, currently 371. Okay, so in my opinion, I'm trying to back up the Burns truck. I need $500,000 so I can buy Microsoft. Okay, I need $750,000. I need $1 million. I need $1.5 million so I can buy Microsoft at 371. What else we got? NVIDIA 178. Okay, that pulled back a little bit. After recent earnings, they were in the 190s, I think. Can I get the 6 months? Okay, so let's see here. When is this? October. When is this? This is February. Okay, February. A month ago, it was trading 197. Now currently 179, 178, 179. Okay, I need $500,000 to buy NVIDIA at 175, 172. What else we got? AVGO 320, Amazon 212. Okay, Amazon 212. So at 230, not too long ago. 258. When is this? Back in October. When is this? 250. Back in 2 months ago. Okay, currently 212. Okay, so quick analysis on a few tickers right there. All right, quick analysis on a few tickers right there. Okay. All right, 1 p.m. Eastern. My name is Errol Ciamango, and I'm HR's least favorite hire. I'm never going back to that plantation. I'm doing whatever it takes to stay out that plantation. Let their ass come work for me. HR, shout out to you. You come work for me. I'm going to continually whoop your ass in business. I thank you for not promoting me. I thank you for not hiring me. I thank you for waking me up. You come work for me. Until next week, Wednesday. 12 noon Eastern, we'll discuss more current events in the financial markets. I'll check you out next week. Peace.